Welcome to this introductory video to direct proportion. Now we have a simple exam question here where we're told that y is directly proportional to x and we're given some boundary information. Okay, this is what we do. We start by simply writing down a statement of proportionality, and that is that y is directly proportional to x. Okay, and it simply means that as x increases, y increases at the same rate. So what we do is we turn that into an equation, and we say that y must equal some number k that we've got to find times x. Okay, so we turn it into an equation, and we then use the boundary information to find what k is. Okay, so we're told that when x is 500, I'll just write this down, x is 500 and y is 10, then we know that if we substitute those into here, we get that 10 equals k times 500. Okay. And if you divide both sides by 500, you get k is 10 over 500, or 1 over 50, 1/50th. Okay, and that's the value of k. So we simply write our equation that we've done here, but instead of using k, we now use 1/50th. So we simply say y equals 1/50th of x. And that's the answer to part A of the question. Okay, y equals 1/50th of x, or y equals x over 50. Now for part B, we have to use our answer to part A to find the value of y when x is 350. So for part B, okay, we simply have to substitute x with the number 350. So y equals 1/50th of 350. Well, if you find 1/50th of 350, that is exactly 7. So y equals 7. And that's the answer to part B. Okay, now in the second question, we have direct proportion again, but this time it involves a square root of something. So we have this hot sphere is cooling, and the time it takes is proportional to the square root of the surface area. Okay, so we start by saying that T is proportional to the square root of A, okay, which means that T is equal to some constant K times the square root of A. Okay, now we use the boundary information as we did before. We know that when A is 100, it means that T is 30. And we can use that to find what K is, you see. So in our equation here, we replace the T with 30, and the K stays there, and the root A becomes root 100. Okay, now root 100, of course, is 10. So we can say that 30 is equal to 10k, and therefore k is equal to 3. So our equation becomes T equals 3 root A. And now we know what our equation is and we know what k is. We can use that to answer this question. Find the value of t when a equals 60. So when a equals 60, t is going to be equal to 3 times the root of 60, which is equal to 3 times the root of 4 times the root of 15, okay, because we're trying to simplify a surd, so I'm looking for a square number that's a factor of 60, and the highest one is 4. The square root of 4 is 2, so that is equal to 6 times root 15. Now, if the question was asking for an exact answer and it was a non-calculator paper, that's what you would give. However, it does ask us for the answer to 3 significant figures, so you can assume it was a calculator paper, and in fact that comes to 23.2 to 3 significant figures. Okay, and that's the answer to the question. Okay, so that's a simple introduction to direct proportion. Okay, I hope that helps. Take care.